is Pate with the new review for episode 6 of Wu-Tang American Saga. This one was definitely a banger for me, man. Oh my God, I've been waiting for one of these. Super creative. They had Mario Van Peebles behind the helm and director, so you know you can't go wrong. Let's get right into it, y'all. Alright, in the first scene, we see Divine and Power in the stew with RZA chopping it up about what's going to be the first single. Power says, Method Man is burning it up on the streets. I can attest to that. It was out on mixtapes, but the actual single wasn't out. He said, hey, the females love it. Meth is going to be a star. We know this. Vaughn says, yeah, that's all good, but it's only Method Man on it. It's not a crew track. I personally want Tears to drop. At that time, Power says, okay, well, Tears is my joint, but it only got 2 people on it. We can't really count it as a crew track. RZA chimes in and he says, look, it's not going to be Tears. It's not going to be Method Man. We need a whole crew track. Power says, hey, Bobby, you got floppy disk full of tracks over here. All of these are bangers. Just pick one. Bobby says, we're introducing the whole world to the Wu-Tang on this one single. It's like a first impression with a girl. If you don't do it right, she won't let you in the crib. Power says, okay, yeah, so since it's about the chicks, we got to go with Method Man. RZA says, nah, it's not about the chicks. It's got to be Wu-Tang rugged. Like you said, it's got to be able to play in the club. Like Vaughn says, it's got to have the whole clan on it. Vaughn says, I understand that, but we don't have time to make another track. Power says, we don't have the money either. We got enough for 2 days in the studio to mix and master. The rest of the cream got to go to pressing up wax and tapes. Vaughn says, just trust what you got and let's keep moving. RZA said, we got to come through chopping heads with high energy. We can't have just one animal roaring. We got to have the whole entire soundtrack of the jungle behind us. And we ain't got that yet. Give me a couple more days to figure this out. And if I don't, we can go with another song for the single. Vaughn starts talking. Bobby's not trying to hear it. He presses a button. Music plays. He tunes him out. Power looks at Divine. Oh, I guess we leaving then. They walk out, leaving Bobby to contemplate his next move. Some time has passed. Bobby's still sitting there thinking, so he starts digging in the crates. He pulls out some Miles Davis, some Funkadelic, some Isaac Hayes, amongst many other classics that we get to listen to during this montage. He sparks up, tries to get his head right, but he just can't seem to find it. More time passes, and then the phone rings. It's Power. He tells him, hey, I got the studio set up for tomorrow. I had to get it for the next 2 days. That's the only time they had. It's booked for the rest of the month. Can you do it? Bobby thinks about it. He's upset, but he says, all right. Hangs up the phone, grabs his stuff, and hits the street. And we get another montage. Now Bobby's beat mining. He's hitting all the classic record stores, all the hot spots, trying to find a perfect record for this crew track. This right here brings back memories. You can't find record stores like this no more. It's like a local hookup for music lovers, just people that love music. And you can't find those anymore, man. You might be able to find it in the chat room, but it's just not the same. Anyway, back to it. He gets to another music store and he runs into the other producer that D Lever, now Ghostface Killah, made the Mr. Nice Guy track with in season 1. He asks about D, tells him he heard about him and Cherie, then tells him, yeah, you know, I'm doing music for Pooh Bah now. He's one of the members of Brand Nubian back in the day. Another member was Lord Jamar, who's been in a lot of Vlad TV videos. But anyway, back to it. He says, yeah, the streets been looking for another one of the Mr. Nice Guy tracks. RZA tells him, yeah, you know, that was good for the hood, but we moving on to bigger and better things now. Then the guy makes a little snipe about, yeah, y'all make that kung fu music. RZA makes a nice little observation and says, hey, yeah, I just came from that store. Now we clearly see that this guy's been shadowing him. He's trying to see what he's doing so he can bite his style. RZA peeps him for a minute, then he moves. Then the guy, he moves right to the stack that RZA was at, confirming that, yeah, he's trying to bite him. So RZA goes over to another row. And you see the guy clearly in the background trying to peep his every move and see what he's doing. And then he sees it. He catches the record that he wants. Side note, this is one of the reasons why DJs used to cover up their labels so nobody could see what they were playing. There was a lot of biting going on. People would snatch up anything that you was doing to try to do it first, put their name on it before you could. So RZA looks around, then he walks over to the counter, makes his purchase, and leaves out real quick before the guy can see what he got. And of course, the guy walks over to the counter, asks the person at the register, hey, what did he just cop? The girl just looks at him like, I don't know. Next, we get back to the stool. RZA puts the album on, and we see the scene from the trailer. He's sitting back in his chair. just listening. Then we get a glimpse of his creative process. This part I loved. It's a toss-up. I've heard mixed reviews on it. But this part, I actually love this part. It shows how he sees the beat and how he deconstructs it so that he can get the best results. Mario Van Peebles was masterful at directing this episode. I've never seen the creative process broken down this way. And being a beat maker myself, this is a perfect interpretation of how it's done. It's crazy. It's like he's in every beat maker's mind when he did this. Here we see Bobby using a sample from the main ingredient. And we see him go to the mix board so that he can isolate some of the instruments. First, he takes out the vocals. Then you'll see him pan over to take out the guitar, then the drums. He brings back all the vocals, and at this point, his Uncle Hollis from the first season appears. He asks Bobby if he knows that Stevie Wonder wrote the song, and that he should know because he only played him all the time. Bobby says, yeah, that's why I picked him up. They both listen a little longer, and his uncle says, so this is what goes on in your head. It's kind of like Radio City. At that moment, we see a younger Bobby in the bed, and lightning bugs appear. We can clearly see that this is part of his subconscious because Bobby starts to rub his eyes, and his younger self starts to rub his eyes at the same time. Bobby goes back to the turntable, and he speeds up the BPMs on the record. While he's doing this, the actors or the musicians are going to fast forward, they're going to reverse, and you can see them getting visibly stressed to the point where one of the drummers says, you going to make up your damn mind? His uncle says, I don't think they like that. What you doing to them? Bobby says, they're not being what I need them to be. I had to pick them up. We see Bobby strip away all the other instruments and basically breaks it down to the drum. Uncle Hollis says, I don't know why you want to use this music if all you're going to do is tear it down. Bobby tells him that's just your perception. He asks him, my perception? He said, remember when I was younger and I was scared of the dark? You told me not to be scared because everything that's in the dark exists in the light. That's what I'm doing. It's the same thing. It's just change of perception. I may not be able to change the notes that they're playing, but I can mold it. I can push what's in the dark to the light to make it into what I need it to be. He tweaks it some more and they get upset again. His uncle says, see, I told you, your imagination can turn on you. He turns around to respond, but his uncle is gone by that time. All right, back to the drawing board. He starts from scratch and he pulls up the guitar riff, which he quickly sampled, and then doubles, which is illustrated by a clone of the bassist that pops up on screen. He goes back in the crates and pulls the Honey Drippers, Impeach the President, which is one of the most heavily sampled records in hip hop, especially for the drum beat, for other reasons too, but especially for that, which the saxophonist quickly alludes to. He steps to RZA and says, hey man, look, we know you don't want us. Everybody comes here just for Phil, the drummer. And RZA just says, you right, and deletes him. Oh, I love that part. That part was wild. It's real. I mean, it's real. But yeah, the lead singer steps up and pleads his case, but RZA gets him out of there quickly. We have a quick interaction between him and the drummer, which illustrates RZA bringing the highs and the lows reverb out of the beat just to tweak it to his liking. RZA asks the bassist, can he get a certain note? And the bassist says, no, I can do it like this, which shows that he's limited by the source material and the equipment that he's using. Sometimes you can tweak it and you can get a note that you want out of it. Other times you'll actually have to go back and recreate that note. This is one of those little details that wasn't lost on me. We finally get a finished product. He pops the floppy out of the keyboard, and we off to the stew. Next scene, we're at mixing and mastering. You can tell RZA's still not sure about this beat. He tweaks it a little bit. He asks the engineer, hey, that's hard, right? Of course, the engineer just being green to the whole atmosphere. Like, yeah, that's hard, bro. You got stomps on that ASAP with the pause. Oh, okay. And Ethan actually pauses the track. Yo, the whole clan just starts throwing stuff at him like he's a ref that just made a bad call. And RZA tells him, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. Focus on this. Now the whole clan's trying to get in the booth. Everybody's trying to be first on the track. All except Deck, who's in the cut. RZA looks over. Hey, yo, Deck, you're up. He also tells GZA that he's last. So GZA says, all right, I'm out. I'll be back. Just as he says that, Ghost arrives. He's looking around, a little overwhelmed. Probably his first time in a big studio. You can just look at his face and tell he's out of his element. We go to Deck inside the booth where he's still writing his verse. We get another glimpse of a clan secret where they just grabbed anything, a pizza box, a cup. They just wrote their verses on anything that was close to him. And now we get a glimpse at Deck's writing process. He looks at it like he's tagging. So all his verses, he's tagging up the walls. He's tagging up everything that he sees. Very creative. I like how they did this too. This is also the point where we find out what song it is. Protect Your Neck. Another Wu banger. For any fans that's like me, you're loving this right now. Deck drops his verse. He comes out. RZA asks Ghost, hey, you ready? He says, nah. Okay, cool. Ray, you in? Ray hops in the booth and we see his process. Ray walks into an all-white room with just a table. On the table, we got triple beans, blue tops, banana clips, and money. He starts writing his bars on the banana clip. Then they switch the scene to the projects. While he's walking, he's writing on stacks of money and making it rain. So he's making his verses rain. This is Ray through and through. It actually makes me wish they had the budget back then, because if this was the Protect Your Neck video, whew, oh my God. He comes out the booth knowing he just murdered it. The whole clan is going crazy. RZA's at the mix board knowing he got something, but he also knows that something is off. And we see this visually because Ray and Deck are sitting next to each other. And Deck is brighter than Ray. Ray is darker in tint, and RZA can just tell something's off. He asks Ethan, the engineer, to check the levels. He tells him that, no, they're set to your specifications. He asks Ghost, hey, what's up? Ghost like, I'm still not ready. That's when Dirty walks in. Let's go. RZA asks him, hey, you ready? Man, I've been ready, man. Let's go. Ghost looks at him and snatches the verses out his hand, looks at him. Dirty like, yeah, man, look them over. You could learn something. He hands the verses to RZA. RZA looks him over, looks at Dirty. He's like, man, these the same verses you wrote when you was 13 years old, yo. The whole clan starts clowning him. Like, man, I can't help it if I'm a prodigy, you know? RZA tells him, nah, man, it's a new track. Everybody got new verses. Back to the drawing board. He leaves and we go into the mind of Ghost. You can see Ghost is having some problems. I don't know if it's writer's block or whatever. We see him on a ramp with a mic booth at the end and the clan's around him. He's feeling closed in. He's looking at it like everybody's against him. They're giving him grimy looks. He gets to the end of the platform where the microphone is, but Ray is there. He turns around and he tells him, you ain't shit. Then he breaks out of it. He's a little shook up. He heads out to the bathroom. He tells RZA, I'll be right back. RZA says, all right, don't take too long. Ghost tells him, okay, well, just leave me out of it then. RZA says, I can't because this is a crew track. Everybody has to be on it. He tells Meth, go ahead and hit the booth. Meth can't wait. You already know he goes in there. He tears his verse down. We've seen this process before. RZA looks at Ethan and says, something is wrong. Something's off, man. I don't know. Ethan's like, man, I love this beat. And they love it too. And the beat's all right, but it's not Protect Your Neck. Dirty shows back up. Dirty's like, hey, I was on the roof. Ethan tells him nobody's allowed on the roof. RZA says he keep writing like this, he can climb to the top of the Empire State Building. He goes in the booth, and Dirty does his dirty thing. They show his process. He's riding around on a bike with his drawers on. You already know, he's just being dirty. Kills it. Comes out the booth. RZA's like, hey, Ghost, you gotta be inspired after that. He looks over. Ghost is gone. We catch up with Ghost at home. He's trying to put the baby to sleep and write his verse at the same time. He's still going over it. I guess he's making revisions because it's not the verse that we know from Protect Your Neck yet. The baby's still trying to go to sleep, but he's trying to do that at the same time, and it's just not meshing. He drops his rhyme book and goes to pick it up with the baby still in his hand, and Cherie walks out and grabs the baby, tells him, look, I got this. Don't worry about it. I just need you to make me a bottle before you go in the room. And the baby gives Ghost a look like, thank you. I don't know what's going on with Pops, man. This dude over here talking about slicing throats and all that. Ghost thanks her, gives both of them a kiss on the head, makes the bottle. He's still going over his rhymes. And then we cut to RZA, who's back at the lab, trying to figure out why all the vocals are not laying perfectly. We go back to his creative process where now, instead of the band, he has Meth up there doing his verses. He keeps pausing him, fast forward and rewind, and Meth is getting agitated. He's asking Bobby, hey, yo, son, you gonna keep me like this? You gonna let me get through my whole verse? The drummer chimes in and says, hey, just let the man work. Meth walks over to him, grills him down, kicks over his equipment. Right then, all the bandmates run in. They about to jump Meth. This is another scene I loved. It's just a visual representation of a sound clash. and trying to force two sounds together that are clearly not working. He breaks the beat back down to the drum, and as he does that, Ghost walks in. He says, "You changing the beat again? Everybody already rhymes to the other one." RZA responds, "Why did you bail on the studio session earlier? You know that costs money." Ghost says, "I told you, I need space to hear myself. I can't think right now, nothing's sticking." And RZA agrees and tells him the same thing. "Nothing's working right now for this beat. That's why I changed up the drums again." Ghost tells him, "You always find it." Ghost says, "See, yeah, I can think a little better here. The studio, I just feel rushed." RZA says, "Yeah, I can understand that, but in order to get a better product, we have to record at Firehouse." They take a break, smoke a blunt, do some beatboxes, playing around, watch a kung fu flick, and relax to reset their brain. And you can see by the time they get back, it's all over the place. They've added a kung fu flick that they was watching. They've added a little bit of that, a little bit of this. And now we have the actual beat for Protect Your Neck. We head back to the studio. Ghost lays his verse. We go back to his creative process where he was at the ramp. But now instead of the clan looking like they're against him, everybody's cheering for him. Everybody's hyped. He's going in. RZA hits the booth. He kills it. Power and Vine walk in. Power's like, "Yo, son, I ain't never heard no shit like this before." Then in walks GZA. Everybody like, "Where you been at, man?" Just like, "Yo, I went and watched the whole Dragon Marathon. Dragon Fist, Dragon Lords." He goes in the booth. Murder 1. Now we have Protect Your Neck, the finished product. RZA sits back. He looks at the whole clan. Everything is as it should be. Nothing is off. Then we go to a scene of the clan on the chessboard, like in the chess boxing video. RZA throws on his hoodie and yells, "You best protect your neck." The rest is history. Great episode. Yeah, I know I'm a little late to the party for the season. I'm going to run back the first episodes of the season and then continue on. Just tune into your boy for more great content coming. I got other shows and movie reviews on the way. Plus, check out my original series, The Paper Boys, premiering October 28th. Gone.